Let's talk about DNA 3. I feel like it's just on a different level.
It really is a different scale of play. It's really getting back to that mystic quality of more ancient traditions. It brings it plays with things on that scale more. I remember Vienna saying one time that in the development of the classes, she kept going, oh, this is the next thing, oh, this is the next thing. And Creator kept saying to her, oh, you're just getting yourself ready.
Wow.
That, like, all this information of doing the downloads and doing belief work and this idea of going up above your space to connect with Creator is just to train yourself and to trigger up the issues to get ourselves really clear to do this next scale of work. The DNA 2 classes, which is everything up to DNA 3, is to clear ourselves of all of these veils of illusion so that we can really awaken to being in that 7th plane reality. And for anyone watching this video that doesn't know the 7th plane and the concepts of the planes of existence, it's that there's different groupings of energies that form into different things of like the periodic table and minerals and the plant kingdom and the animal kingdom and the spirit kingdom and then that heavenly presence of like angels and guides and the masters, and then this thicker energy which is the 6th plane, which is about the laws of the universe. People like Einstein, a lot of scientists have really focused on this, of law of magnetics and electricity, and that there's all these different foundational concepts to life. And then the 7th plane is really that essence of where things are created and all possibilities, and that type of mentality. It's been referenced in a lot of different ways, of like a cosmic consciousness or the essence of energy or universal life force, or these different concepts. Mm-hmm. So with DNA 3, you've done all this work, you've cleared all these beliefs, and then you step into this class where everything becomes experiential. Instead of engaging your intuition by connecting with your imagination, you're actually feeling yourself expand out and become one with all things. You are interacting with everything as though it was alive, and allowing for it to become animated and for everything to become as energy, and letting go of attachment to things as a structured thing. So allowing for your body to be like energy and light rather than this illusion of a solid substance.
Right. And it's also, I think, in the class, it's about getting validation to the work. It physically happen.
Yes, I mean, with Theta Healing, that is always a major focus. In any of the classes, really, is about validation. This place of validation is really in the practices where, we do these different exercises where we actually intuitively synthesize molecules. We'll have a glass of water and create molecules of sugar or salt in it, and then have other people validate it by tasting it. And so it's really playing with true magic, which is shedding away illusion instead of like a magician that is playing with illusion to trick you.
Right.
It's the other way with it. And what I find with the DNA 3 class is that, once again, it is half the class is this awakening piece. The other half is giving you the tools to then grow what you've just been awakened to. So, like, not only are you playing with and practicing changing water to make it sweet or to make it salty, but then you also do it the other way, where we put salt into the glass and then discreate it. We practice purifying water. So, like, what if you could go up to a lake and just purify it? If it's been poisoned or toxified, or within our own body, just know that with any moment we can just step into that intention of I am now pure.
Right.
Rather than going through this process of having to do this cleanse or change this diet or whatever it is, like.
So it's stepping into just the realization and allowing that energy of creation just to at the same time shift things. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah.
Now, I think this kind of comes into this really interesting dynamic, and maybe you can shed some light on this for people that have maybe already taken DNA 3, or people kind of stepping into this, of the interplay of DNA 3 information and this concept of free will, free agency. Can you shed a little light on that for us?
It's a big question.
It's a big question.
For me, I find that there's really two forms of free will. There is the morality of it, of just giving respect. And one thing that happens in the DNA 3 class is that you start to become aware of everything being alive and that everything is responding to you. So instead of, just carrying this on a theoretical level of it being this universal presence, it's literally the chair you're sitting on is responding to you and is interacting with you as though it was alive. And in that essence also has its own free will. And that everything does. We do this exercise that we refer to it as telekinesis, but it's completely different, because you're not focused on moving inanimate objects with your mind. You are supporting the inanimate object being alive as energy, and then become a witness to it becoming animated. And it becomes alive as energy, and it starts to actually look like a wave, like a wavelength of energy. You start to watch it become vibrational and play, and it becomes malleable and actually moves and things. And what the intention of this is to really invite us into being more accountable.
Being more accountable.
What if you were always being observed?
And how far does your energy go? Meaning that, I people talk about this in the basic class, but I think you're hitting on like the bigger truth of it. What the simple thoughts that you think, the words that you say, your actions that you do.
Yeah.
It affects literally everything around you.
Yeah, our thoughts are very physical. Our thoughts are energy. And that's not just on a cellular level of we have a thought and it's like a generation of electricity in the neurons in our brain, but is actually a projection of that energy out from our field. So if you think about someone, you're actually sending them energy just by having that thought. Once you've gone through intuitive anatomy, and you've cleared all these beliefs, what this has done is it started to enhance the productivity of each thought. So instead of your mind being so random and going to all these places and your energy being scattered and therefore thinned, it starts to become consolidated into more focused intentions. And so with intuitive anatomy, and what maybe a lot of people have experienced is that yes, things have changed, things have also just become more intense. And the real important thing with doing this massive amount of belief work in these classes, especially these longer, more intensive classes like intuitive anatomy, disease and disorder, and world relations, where these classes are literally just boot camps of clearing beliefs.
Right.
With all these different systems, that there is a refocused intention and a reset self-dedication that that we are dedicating to our own practice.
So how does one go about having the reset and the focus and the dedication to themselves?
Well, that is one thing that the DNA 3 offers, is that there are certain practices that it's best to be done like once to 5 times a day, just as simple meditations and simple practices. And to also practice the New Life Experiment.
And for those of you that don't know the New Life Experiment, what is that exactly?
The New Life Experiment is a practice of self-observation. Well, it starts with self-observation, and it's mainly about our actions, but also then can be included into our thoughts and feelings, where you make sure that you are not engaging in certain behaviors of creating challenges and having interactions with different things of lack, like thinking, oh, I don't have enough time, oh, I'm tired, and these types of phrasings we are then giving our energy to, or creating battle, or gosh, there's a whole list of things that you do. You
Not being critical, I think, is one of them.
Not being critical.
Over judgmental.
Judgmental, making fun of others.
No complaining.
No complaining. No whining, no creating reasons to be sorry or saying sorry out of habit, which, maybe you've met people where literally every sentence there's at least one sorry in it. They'll literally say, I'm sorry, but I gotta do this, or something like that. Like it's just something that binds up a lot of energy.
Okay.
And so that kind of practice with this other more energetic practice, this in the DNA 3 class, the primary practice in it is actually this breathing technique and a certain type of alignment which is unique. It's not yogic alignment of aligning your chakras and energy just going up. It's this other different type of alignment that really awakens a new scale of energy.
Wow.
And just doing that alignment transforms everything. It makes things manifest like nothing I've ever seen.